What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Special one today. As you can tell, made some upgrades again to the setup. Doing a subscriber requested course, which I'll get into here in a second, but obviously first and foremost, ended up finally pulling the trigger, got an actual full-size mat. This would probably end up being a longer video. I know most of these simulator rounds with GSPro are pretty long, but just talking about the mat and getting used to it. This is my very first round playing out here. Basically, I really love that Country Club Elite mat. I may end up in the future cutting out a section of this, but I was gonna end up getting new mulch back here and getting some fresh mulch. I ended up ordering mulch for like the yard. I've been doing a ton of yard work, that's a separate point, but everything is sore. I got a huge blister on my hand from using an axe and a sledgehammer and shoveling and raking and everything else. But I was gonna just add some fresh mulch, which you can see over there, and I figured while I was at it, I would have to pull up that old stance mat, which is over there, and the section where the Country Club Elite mat was, level that all out, get it all set up, and I figured if I was gonna do that anyways, might as well get an actual mat that I've been looking at and wanting to pull the trigger on and actually have tons of room for activities in a full range mat here, or a full size mat. So this is 5x4. I'll link it down in the description. I got a crazy price on it. As of the making of this video, I only got it, I think 3 or 4 days ago. It got delivered. I put it out here, just hit it with the mat basically on top of the mulch. Felt pretty good. Hit balls for about 2 hours, no joint pain or anything like that. And then I think it was 2 days after, my dad helped me out. We kind of recessed the mat back down. I have 4 bricks on each corner, so basically 2 and 2, 2 and 2, so 4 bricks on each corner, kind of holding it in place. Not that it moved a ton the first time that I tried it out, but just to kind of keep it in place a little bit better. I sunk the bricks down, covered it all up with mulch, try to make it as good as possible. I'll link this individual mat down below. Like I said, I've only hit on it twice, so this is my first real round. This is the first time actually turning the R10 with on it. When I was warming up on the practice range before, I was kind of half worried it wouldn't even register. I would have to change some settings, and I did. It seemed like when I was catching them good, the ball was going a little bit too far on the range. So in the past, since I've had GSPro, I've been using, I kind of bounced around the first couple rounds, but I would say for the past month or two, I've been using 3,000 feet on the altitude or the elevation. I dropped it down to 2,000, and that seems to be pretty good. I'll try that for these 2 rounds today, and if I need to adjust it, I will. But I think it's just from leveling out this area, maybe raising it up a little bit more with the mulch, and maybe the factor of having the full range mat. Maybe the R10 can read it a little bit better, I don't know, but just dropped it down 1,000 feet. Not a huge deal. I think it's like 1%, which isn't much, but seemed like my distances were back in line. Was hitting a couple pitching wedges that seemed to be a little bit too far, and then I hit some 9s, some 8s, some 5s, and on a few of them at 3,000, when I didn't quite catch like my 7 iron, I could feel it was like maybe a little bit heely and a little bit thin. It was going about 180, 185, which usually that's like a good strike. So I dropped it down to 2,000. That was a little more in line. But basically, this mat, believe it or not, I came across this. It has 15 millimeters of padding underneath. Again, I'll link it. I'll pin a comment down in the description if you guys want to check it out. It has 15 millimeters of rubber foam padding. Same thing as the Country Club Elite. That's about as much as you'll find. And then 16 millimeters of turf. So it's not dense enough, and it's definitely not quite as dense as the Country Club Elite. It seems like this turf is about half the density and the thickness that the Country Club Elite is, but there's a reason why that mat is about $600 for this same 5x4 versus this one. So getting to the price, total thickness 15 millimeters and then 16, so 31 millimeters. Not thick enough to put a T in, but it was originally I think 115, and then they were doing a deal for 89 if you were a Prime member, which most people have Prime these days, and then on top of that they're offering a 30% coupon. So it was still available before I came out here. By the time this video drops, you'll see, I'll link it down below. Maybe you'll be able to get the same price, but all in all said and done, after taxes, it was free shipping, but all in total was like $67.40 or something like that. So for 67 bucks, pretty darn good price, and if it only lasts a year, so be it. I don't think that'll happen. I decided I'm actually borrowing my dad's spikeless FootJoy golf shoes. I figured I'd do that just to kind of reduce. I was looking up online what people recommend if you can use. I know you go to the driving range and you usually use spikes, but having your own mat I didn't know if that was going to increase the wear and tear on it. And also I looked it up, and some people said that they experienced some knee injuries and some like lower body type of joint issues when they were wearing sneakers because they weren't enough support. And then there was other people that said they were experiencing and had injuries which they thought was due to wearing spikes on a mat because you were grabbing, and versus like real grass that ends up, it gives and you kind of can move your feet. The spikes will just grab into this. So I figured I'll end up getting a pair of spikeless, but for now I'm just borrowing my dad's, and I feel like that's a happy medium. But that's about it. Check out the comment down below. I'll pin the description if you guys are interested in the map. But 5x4, I wasn't thrilled about this white line down the middle when I was first looking at it, but for the price I figured, even if I don't love the white line, for $67 is pretty hard to pass up. But since having it and only using it 2 times, I actually do really like having the line down the middle. I'm not sure from your angle if it looks like everything's squared up, but the best that we could, we leveled this all perfectly, leveled it back to the R10, and it is pretty straight and perpendicular, parallel rather to the net. So I don't know if it maybe looks like it's on a slight angle, but it's actually in a pretty good spot, and it does seem to help a lot with ball position, alignment. So I actually am enjoying the white line. But I think those were the main things I want to get across. Obviously the new mulch and the mat. It is really nice being all on the same surface, being able to hit short little wedge shots here, full length driver. Again, first time using the R10, just about 10 minutes ago setting it up, and this will be the very first round using it. So let's see. As for this round, I got a little bit more talking to do before we get into it, but this is a subscriber requested course. So as you can see by the title and the thumbnail probably, we're doing Payne's Valley in Hollister, Missouri. The course designer on this one was Run Pud Run, and this request comes courtesy of the subscriber. The username is Outdoors ES8QY. I just refer to him and know him as Outdoors, but he said, here's a course recommendation that I think you and others will enjoy. Payne's Valley is a pretty neat and scenic course. It was designed by Tiger Woods and his crew in honor of Payne Stewart. It's got some nice downgrades on the front 9, but beware of several of the greens that have some unforgiving gentle slopes that will test your nerves. It's a fun course that I try to play often on GSPro, but don't overlook or neglect the separate 19th hole there at Payne's Valley. It's epic. Enjoy. And another note about Outdoors, so appreciate the request, appreciate the thought out request. This should be a fun one. I know some people have done this, pretty cool looking with the tiger tees here. Outdoors is, throughout, since I've had GSPro, pretty notorious of following along the courses that I play. He's a GSPro user, and he follows along and plays the courses after I post them and tries to match up, kind of see where he compares score-wise. He doesn't always play the same tees, or most of the time he's playing more forward tees, but he likes seeing where he comes in relation to my scores on the video. So I appreciate you watching, appreciate you playing along. Pretty cool to have someone out there that are that's kind of following along and seeing how they match up with some of the scores that I have back here. Hopefully we'll play well. Again, I got some issues going on with all the yard work I was doing and very first time using the mat, but we'll see how we do. So after that pretty lengthy intro, let's get into it. Garmin Approach R10, everything's linked down below in the description. All the Amazon links, I'd appreciate if you guys check those out. Great way to support the channel at no additional cost. Also, like I mentioned, I'll pin this individual mat down below in the comments. It'll be the first pinned comment that you see. But Garmin Approach R10 behind me on a DIY level stand. I'm so used to saying Country Club Elite mat, but no longer. I gotta figure out what the exact name is. They had a really funky name for this mat, but either way, it's a 5x4 hitting mat, Callaway super fast balls, 10x7 nets, and GSPro you're seeing as the simulator software. So after that very lengthy intro, but I wanted to try to explain why I got this, why everything looks different. Hopefully I know I'm in the shade, but hopefully you guys can see kind of what it looks like decently with the camera. But first hole here, I wasn't sure. I opened it up, it didn't have the course recommended settings, but cloudy, this is cloudy number 1 on the lighting. That's just what it loaded up with, and it just looked pretty cool, so I just left it. But I think we're gonna have to, I downloaded this separate, there's just a 19th one individual hole. I think it's a par 3. I'll probably play through this, go through the scorecard, and then we'll go into it together. I'll quit this and then go into that 19th hole and just play that real quick after this as part of the end of the video. But it's probably gonna be like an 1.5 hour long video. We're already pretty long right now, probably 5-10 minutes in. Hopefully nothing turns off, but let's see what we can do here first time using the mat. So first hole, par 4, 475. Again, playing the furthest back tees. 36 yards of downslope. Let's look at this flyover. like usual, I know Run Pud Run, I've played a couple of his courses, he or she's courses, the designer. Usually does a great job like most of the course designers, but I mean, look at these graphics, and kind of a nod to Payne Stewart here. Kind of fitting too with all the coverage that Payne Stewart's been getting with Bryson winning the US Open, having the hat on the trophy, and he was a big inspiration, so everything kind of coming in line here. But let's see what we can do here. First tee shot with the new mat. We'll play it up here. Again, dropped it down to 2,000. If I notice things are really, really short, I mean, not that 1,000 feet, generally speaking, every 1,000 feet is 1%. I think that's the general rule of thumb, so it shouldn't make that much of a difference, but if I'm hitting things really well and they're coming up 5 or 10 yards short or whatever, I'll just adjust it, but sticking with the 2,000. So without further ado, let's see what we can do here with the new mat. That's a little bit too close. New mat, new shoes. Again, everything, it's going to be a longer round because I'm still trying to get used to where I want to tee things up, where I want to stand using the shoes that I'm not used to. I believe, I didn't look it up, but I believe the Garmin R10 can read basically a 2x2 area. So in theory, I had a little bit of tough time figuring out exactly where I wanted to position this mat. Obviously, me being a righty, and I play almost all the rounds back here, probably 99% of the rounds besides friends and family. I want to stand here and be able to hit basically towards the middle. So we could have pushed it a little bit that way. My dad and I were kind of adjusting things back and forth, but in theory, the R10 should be able to read basically out to here if I were to put something there, and then still another 2 feet this way should be able to read over here too. I believe it's a 2x2 hitting area that it picks up in, but we'll see. All right. All right, a little low in the face towards the toe. It's gonna draw. Hopefully that stays in bounds. We had 32 yards of downslope. 283, all right. We're in some deep rough, but it looks like we're gonna be able to play. Probably took me about 10 minutes to hit that shot, so if you guys don't care about any of that, you could have just fast forward until you saw me swing. Seems like when I was hitting shots, I hit shots for about 2 hours the first day I got it, and then maybe 45 minutes to an hour a couple days ago once we did all the mulch and everything else. And it seems like maybe it's just the alignment of having the white line. I was hitting a lot of draws and pulls. That one, again, a draw. We'll see if that continues, but I don't know why. Maybe just the alignment of subconsciously with my brain, a little bit better alignment versus opening up. I was hitting more draws, and that one was kind of a relatively big draw for the R10, but 283 with that downslope carry was 235 raw, 278 in the game, 101, 147, yada yada, but leaves us with 200 down 6, and we're in the deep rough, which is going to be 21%, so that's like 40 yards. I'm going to go 4 hybrid out of here, and we may catch those trees. It's going to come out left, and we're on a downslope, but that should be fine. We'll aim about there and just try to hammer a 4 hybrid up there and see if we get lucky. Not the best opening tee shot there, but the other thing too, I was because this is not as dense of turf, I actually was making crisper, cleaner contact with irons and hybrids, but chipping was a little bit of an adjustment. It seemed like that Country Club Elite mat, I could hit down a little bit more into it, and it seemed like this is just a tighter lie, so I had to catch it a lot cleaner with wedges. We'll see how that goes throughout this round too, but it's going to take me a few solid rounds back here to get a real good review on this mat. All right, that was hit decent. Oh, we caught the tree. All right, this may be a rough starting hole here. Leaves us with 90 yards in the rough. Rough's going to be 6%, so like it's down 2 yards. Where's the pin? Pin's front. It's gonna come out left. That'll be fine. It may fade a little bit too. So I think I need probably about 90. The downslope will take off some of it. Or not the downslope. Yeah, the downslope of where down about 2 yards. I'm gonna go approach wedge. Try to hit just shy of 100 here. Felt pretty good. And it is. All right, take that all day long. I think did we save par? We did. All right, on to the second hole we go. See if I can pick things up, play some decent golf. That was a good example. One thing, just because it's a new mat, one thing I have noticed is it gets, I'll show you guys once I hit a few more, it gets some green residue. The Country Club Elite mat did the same thing for the first like month or so. That'll probably stop, but mainly I just want to make sure after 36 holes here today, and again, it'll probably take me a couple weeks to get a full, like, actual comprehensive idea of what I think of this mat in general. But first and foremost, no joint pain. I want to see the wear and tear of using these soft spikes. Maybe I'll try out actual spikes, we'll see. But wear and tear, see if this has any wear over here where I'm standing and any wear in the hitting area. I do plan on rotating it maybe once a year, once every 6 months, but we'll see. All right, second hole, par 3, 263 down 21. Yikes. This is definitely some tiger tees out here. I mean, look at these graphics. So look at these undulations. That's what Outdoors was saying. I know he was saying the greens, but look, there's like a gully over there. Pretty cool looking first couple holes so far. So I'm thinking 240. It's going to be probably another 4 hybrid. 263 down 21, so we got 242. Let's try 4 hybrid off the deck, see what happens. That's going to be left and short. Well, it's trying to come back a little bit. It is left and short though. Alright, leaves us with 34. Up a yard. We're on an upslope, which is good. So 35 total. Probably want to, the fairways and the greens are normal. Probably want to fly this about 32, 33, something along those lines. We'll go 60. I probably could hit a lower 56, but we'll try the 60, try to get it up in the air. Actually, let's hit a shot I'm comfortable with. I was doing that last time too. I was hitting shots saying I could hit one. I feel better with a 30-yard shot here with this 56, so. Maybe a bit too much sit. Yeah, just a little bit too much, but that was close. All right, 1 over through 2. Onto the third hole we go. Par 4, 332. That's a little more like it, down 8 yards. This is more of a reasonable distance. Doesn't feel like the mat's moving a ton. Obviously, it's going to move the most on driver and long irons where I'm swinging harder and kind of digging my feet in a little bit more. But it doesn't seem like it's moving a lot. You guys probably get a little bit of an idea watching on the camera, but I mean, it moves slightly, but not really much. Obviously, you don't want, I sunk it down with the bricks, you don't want this thing sliding underneath you. And I know a lot of people that would have this, they have, if you're in like a basement or even outdoors, it's kind of like a driving range, you have a concrete slab you're hitting off of, so that really doesn't move. But all right, let's see if we can actually get a fade going. But there's a ton of room up here, so we'll aim there. Hopefully. I didn't even mention there's so much stuff I was thinking about. It's actually almost too cold today. It's sunny and 75, which is perfect, but I'm getting picky. I almost would rather have it be a little warmer and a little bit more humid, get a good sweat going, but this is like almost spring fall temperature here. High on the face. That's going to be kind of a high pop up towards the right. Got 281 on it though. There must have been, it must be down off of that and then back up, because the game had it at 258, Garmin 240, and we got 281 out of that. Felt like that kind of popped that up, but wasn't hit horrendous, it just wasn't quite squared up. Leaves us with 51, up 2 yards. It's gonna come out a little bit left, which is fine. So we'll go there, and I've been working on this distance just a little bit, and by working on it I mean hitting it back here. I still need to come out and just practice wedges, but this is gonna be a 56, and we'll see if I can get 50 yards on this. May need to go just a little bit. Ooh, or not. That felt like I didn't catch it quite great, but I mean the raw and the game carrier spot on. So, and maybe I just caught it just a little bit too clean. All right, brings us to, that was a par, so we're still 1 over through 3. 4th hole, par 5, 549, 20 yards at downslope. I must say, this is a good request so far by Outdoors. We'll see what about that 19th hole, if I can just end this round and then go right into that other one. I was hoping, I looked at the holes, you can like select the holes before you start a round. I was hoping that the 19th would be an option instead of ending this round and basically starting another one for that 19th and final hole. That wasn't the case, but I think that 19th is just by the looks of it, a cool little par 3. Just has a little extra add-on course. Or add-on hole rather. Alright. Kind of cool look though with the clouds. I don't know if Outdoors can let us know if he usually plays with the clouds like this. This was just cloud 1. I could have done clear sky. Maybe I'll change it for the back 9. But pretty cool up in the mountains here, seemingly. Club face was open. That's going to be towards the right. Wow, that's actually drawing. Huh. Maybe a slight misread there. Don't know about that. We got 150 ball speed though. 104.5 club speed. Take that. Maybe a slight misread. Again, I feel like I have a better idea of where I need to have the ball position for irons. Like mid, short, all the way, all my irons. Wedges aren't bad, but driver, first time really hitting any kind of substantial drivers here. Kind of having a tough time figuring out where I want the ball exactly in relation to this line and the mat, everything else. So a little bit of a experimentation guessing game going on here. I do want to just check. Looks like the camera's still going. Yikes, we're 26 minutes in. Usually I started a few minutes early, but this is going to be a long one, folks, so buckle up. Wow, look at this shot going into here. So we got 250 down 10. We got to carry that. There's a bunker there. Oh boy. Well, we're going to go here. This will probably fade, and I need to hit a pretty good 4 hybrid here. Still focusing on trying to lock out my left arm a little bit, improve the strike consistency, keeping my back more towards the target, coming through, and just that looser grip like I was doing. A little bit thin. It's gonna fade. Hopefully that's enough to stay dry. I think it's going to be. I was gonna say the thinner or the looser grip like I was doing last time, but I realized the past 2 times I came out here, I played the PGA Tour schedule like a couple weeks in advance just so I have those done. So you guys are going to be seeing this video with the new mat before maybe 2, 3, or 4 videos that are scheduled in the future with the old setup, the mulch and the Country Club Elite mats, the hitting strip. After that, everything will be uniform, but you guys will be seeing some of those that I already had recorded in the future. But leaves us with 21. I mean, we're hitting 3 into a par 5. That wasn't terrible. Tons of downslope. I mean, look at the water over there too. That's pretty cool with the little house or shed looking thing. Tons of downslope on this course, so we're getting a ton of extra distance with all that, the amount of time that it's staying in the air. But 21 yards. It's going to come out a little bit left, so aim a little bit right. Probably want to carry this about 15, I think. We'll try the 60. Again, I got to focus on strike here with a little bit of a tighter lie on this mat. But let's see, 15 yards here, 60 degree. And drop kicked it a little bit. I may need to sit. Sit. All right, got it to work. Birdie, take that. Back to even we go. Wow, look at this hole. This is cool. I really like, obviously this is a great request, and I really enjoy not doing a ton of research and like going through these courses before, so I'm kind of looking at these courses and playing these for the first time as you guys are seeing it too. But I mean, look at these, the graphics and the way this thing's laid out. I'm fairly certain this is a private, I looked it up, it's a private course, but if this resembles what it looks like in real life, pretty darn cool design and layout by Tiger and his team in honor of Payne Stewart. Alright, so 5th hole, par 3, 185 down 5. So let's see where the pin is. It should just be a 7-iron. Aim about there. Count for a little bit of a fade. Oh, that's gonna fade a lot. That may need to go. That could be wet. Wow, I got there. I don't know if I'm just, today, for whatever reason, if I'm swinging it, wow, that was a generous par 2 right on the edge. I don't know if I'm just swinging a little bit quicker today, but I didn't feel like the best contact when we got it there. I thought that was gonna be even shorter. I don't know if it's, again, I'm just excited to use the new mat and swinging it a bit quicker because I'm kind of amped up and excited a little bit, or if because I leveled everything and raised up the mulch, if it's changing the way the R10's reading a little bit. I may have to. Even that one, that didn't seem like the best contact in the world, and the raw carry was 163. That doesn't sound super far off, so maybe we're pretty close and it's just within the game. May end up having to drop down the altitude just either to 1,000 or just completely get rid of it. We'll see, but I mean, we're still close. I'm still hitting the same clubs I would in real life. It's just, that's my only worry when I'm changing things around back here. I kind of find settings and find a setup that works really well, and I know I have faith in the numbers that I'm getting. You start changing things around, and that kind of brings into a little bit of a question mark for just a little bit, and a little bit of a guessing game on some of the numbers I get just because I change things around, but we'll get it dialed in. Still even, 6th hole, par 4, 443. Down 17 yards. We'll aim here. Tell you what though, if you guys had a hitting strip or kind of a split, almost makeshift, this was always the goal, to have a real mat, but it's so much nicer being on a full even surface. You can stand where you want. I don't have that mulch in between with the bricks around worrying about hitting it. Granted, this isn't nearly as nice of a quality of mat as the Country Club Elite mat, but I'm not in a position to spend $600 on a 5x4 Country Club Elite mat, so for $67 it's pretty good. But alright, that was a little bit low in the face, but it was hit decent right down the middle. Could feel the mat shift just a little bit on that one, but not much. I mean, even that, with me going like that, you can maybe see one of the corners moving slightly, but there's not a ton of wiggle room there, especially with the bricks around. Maybe it's more in my head than anything, but decent drive there. Let's see what we got left. 162, down 5. So I think it's gonna have to be a 9. We're on a downslope too, which is gonna kill some spin. It would, if that pin was towards the back, or actually towards the front rather, I'd probably go 8-iron, but from where that pin is, I think 9. I just need to hit it halfway decent to get it there. 8-iron, if I hit it good, we could be off the back. So let's see what we can do here with the old 770 9-iron. A little bit thin. It's gonna fade more than I wanted it to, but go. All right, we just got it there. Even that, I didn't strike it 100%. Usually I play this 9-iron to about 150, 155. We got 151.9 out of that. So based on that strike, it wasn't hit terribly by any means, but it still may be a bit on the long side, so maybe I'll end up settling towards 1,000 feet on the altitude. We'll see. But I mean, that's not the biggest difference you're going to see between the raw carry, basically coming right from the R10, and the game carry is just the all the slopes. So like this one, we're hitting up 17 yards. It's going to be close to that shorter. I think the 17 yards is the entire hole, not just this shot. But that's the biggest discrepancy that you'll see between the raw carry and the game carry. And then some of them, like wedge shots or flatter shots, they'll be pretty close to each other. I did test it though. I walked off. Right from this middle line to the very front of the net is 15 feet. And by the front of the net, I mean when the wind's not blowing or anything, to like right here. So that's just about 5 yards. I hit a couple 60 degrees right to the front, and it was 5.1. That was when I was still on 3,000. So, I mean, those short shots, that's kind of how I dial things in just a little bit, but it's very close, if not dead on the money for distance-wise, but maybe just a little bit of tweaking is still needed. We'll see. All right, even through 6, 7th hole, par 4, 372. I can feel, I need to remember to put, there's 3 holes here for tees. You can put them, they came with them, you can put them up and through. That was fine there. It just felt like I was kind of close to the edge of the mat. I think over there is going to be more where I need to put this tee to feel like I'm not having my heels hanging off the edge of the mat. Bit of a pull draw on top of it. 149 ball speed. Oh no, stay up. That might be out of bounds. Ooh, it's gonna let us play. All right. And see that one, so that wasn't hit great, but that one, the raw carry, 236.8, was actually higher than the game carry because we were hitting into that upslope. And it still looks like we're not in a great spot, but we still got some upslope to deal with. So 137, up 17, if I can read it right, and we're in the deep rough, which is going to be 21%. So what do we need to hit here? It's going to come out pretty far left as well. 137, 147, 154, and then the 20%, I think. So I think I'm going to go 7 iron. We'll go there. I don't know if I need to mash this, and I don't know, again, I don't know if the deep rough, if the 21%, if that's supposed to be the 21% of the 137, or it should be 21% of the 137 plus the 17, which makes kind of a difference. That's kind of a difference between a 7 and an 8 iron. It's possible that this is going to be too much club, but we'll see if we get out of this. I don't know if it's a 7 or an 8. I think it's somewhere in there, but kind of what you would deal with too on course. You don't know exactly for sure, so you would kind of just have to pick a club and commit to it. A little bit chunky, a little bit left. Hopefully if I hit it chunky enough and that was too much club, go! Alright, just short. It's going to roll off the green. That was actually probably the right club. Just caught it a little bit heavy. So far I am liking the feedback though with this mat. You can definitely tell if you catch it clean or catch it a little bit chunky, it gives you that feedback. That was probably the right club, I just didn't catch it 100%. Leaves us with 25 yards now. Up about 2, so 27. Gonna come out a fraction of a degree to the right. So 27, probably gonna land this about 23, 24. Gonna go 60 degree. Drop kicked it a little bit. I may need to sit. Yep, a little bit too long. Stay on the green though. All right, that might be a bogey. I think we dropped one, and we did. So bogey on 7 brings us up to 1 over through 7. Onto the 8th hole we go, which is a par 5, 562 yard hole. Down 20 yards, I think, if I saw that correctly. planning on playing one more subscriber requested course after this one, which will be a little bit quicker because I did a lot of my talking with the new mat before this. Plus, we got to add that extra 19th hole after this if we can figure that out. All right, 20 yards of downslope. This will help if I hit one good. We'll go there. Again, I've said it once, say it a million times. I'm not trying to juice the simulator with the altitude at all. I'm just trying to get it to where it seems like a lot of people experience the same thing, that the longer clubs are a bit short with the R10. So all I'm trying to do is just get it to where I can hit the distances I would on course in the same exact clubs. I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm jacking up the elevation of the altitude to where I'm hitting it 350 off the tee. Hit decent. Down the middle, a little bit of a baby draw. 149, ball speed 105.6. Carry in the game was 261. Carry from the Garmin was 241, but that was that 20 yards of downslope, or at least half of that. And then a little bit of the altitude boost, but decent swing there. 284 total. Leaves us with 276 down 9. What do we have up here? All right, we got some room to play with. It's gonna come out a little bit right. I think I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna go 3-wood. Tell you what though, as long as I don't have any kind of joint, like elbow pain from hitting this mat, especially with kind of the shorter irons and wedges hitting down into the mat, for $67, if any of you guys are in the market, seems like a pretty good price. And even if it only lasts a season, which I don't think will be the case, but I mean, you could, I'm sure that 30% coupon is not going to last forever, but for $67 you could get one every single year. But as opposed to a hitting strip, having the full-size mat is very nice. That was chunky. That's going to be short. Felt like it was drawing, and it is. I came out left. Stay there though, and we'll be fine. It is a par 5. Caught the mat a little bit before that. Alright, leaves us with 37, down a yard. We're on a down slope and it's going to come out right. So it's going to roll out a bit more. 36 total. Probably need to carry this about 30. Do I go 56 or do I go 60? Let's try the 56 again. Just hit it a little too much the last one, but I think if I can hit, getting close to my 30-yard shot that I'm used to this with, it's not like I need to get up and over anything, so instead of trying to fly it all the way there with the 60, this should be a little more of a higher percentage play. I may need to go just a little bit, and I pulled it a little bit left. Get in there. All right, just got it to work. That was probably the right club selection. Birdie, we'll take that. Generally speaking, here and on course, if you can fly it a little bit lower instead of, remember Rick was saying, if you can, and other people have explained it too, Rick from Golf in the Villages, if you're trying to hit, basically, hit to the front of the mat, hit a target there, it's a lot easier if you roll the ball here and have it land like here and let it roll, versus trying to throw it way up in the air. I mean, kind of similar to what I'm talking about with a 56 versus a 60. You're gonna have more accuracy and more consistency dropping the, like rolling the ball, having it hit here and roll to that target, versus trying to throw it way up in the air and have it come down exactly there. That was kind of the mindset with the 56 there versus the 60. But even through 8, 9th hole, par 4, 4-2-8. Kind of a split. I mean, it's not even really a split fairway, it's just you gotta hit it decent to get into the fairway in the beginning. I mean, look at the graphics though. The clouds are pretty cool. Maybe I'll just leave the clouds. This was the first course in a while that didn't have the option as I'm loading up the course for course recommended settings. Vast majority of the ones I've been playing have that option, which I always click because that changes sometimes the weather, but it mainly changes the firmness of the greens in the fairway and whatnot. This one didn't have that option. All right, we'll go there. towards the right, low on the face, but that should just be a low bullet up the right. Look at that, the that's kind of cool. The R10 carry and the game carry were 0.01 yards away. They were almost exactly the same on that particular shot. So again, I'm not juicing it to where I'm getting 100 extra yards off the tee. That one was within a fraction of a yard, the same from the raw number from the R10 versus GSPro. Not the best drive in the world, only 247, but I didn't hit it great, so leaves us with 179, up about 2 yards. So 181 total. Pins in the middle. It's gonna come out a little bit left, and that'll probably fade on top of it, so I'll go there. What do I want to hit? I guess 7 iron. It's closest to that. Hit it decent. Hopefully it doesn't fade too much. Looks like it's fading, but that should be enough to be pretty close to pin high, and it is. Decent shot there. 4 yards basically of discrepancy between the R10 and GSPro, so 183 on a decent strike with a 7 iron. That's usually right in the ballpark of what I would expect there. Usually play it to 180, 185. I really hit a good 190, so we're definitely within the margin of error. We're very close with the altitude and everything else going on. This is a pretty crazy hole, so still even. Onto the back 9 we go. 10th hole, par 3, 178, but it's down 23 yards. Outdoors is right. This is a really cool course. I may have to have this one saved when friends and family come over, pull this one up. Maybe I'll play it again on the channel, but this is the graphics are pretty crazy, and there's a really cool hole layout so far. Question is, what am I going to hit? So that brings us down to 158, 155. Pins in the front. I guess it's kind of middle. All right, we'll go there. I guess it's just going to be stock 9 iron distance. 155, 150 if I don't hit it great. Even 145 should put us on the green. If I mash it, 160, low 160s. That still should be backside of the green, I think. But just looking for pretty smooth, consistent contact here with the 9. Popped it up just a little bit, but it wasn't a terrible strike. That should be pretty close. Oh, never mind. Or not. I was gonna say that should be pretty close to the number. That was actually pretty short. I thought the other ones carried a little bit more on that similar strike. That definitely wasn't a terrible strike. I just thought that may have been maybe 5 yards short and to the right, but that was a little bit. All right, now where did all the UI go? Everything went away. And I don't know, I don't even have the option here to click the menu. That's strange, and I don't know how far. This is strange. I've never seen this before. This may be a slight glitch. So 16 yards, I don't know about the lie. I didn't press anything, so don't know why this is the case here. I guess we're just gonna go 60. Hit it 16 yards total. Try to fly at about 12 maybe, and hopefully the all the metrics come back up on the next shot. That's kind of strange. May need to sit just a little. Uh-oh. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to restart this entire round, because I don't even know how to. This isn't good. Did it freeze? Well, it didn't freeze because I can still click. Stuff's still moving. Why is this not registering now? The Garmin's still blinking. Try that again, maybe. That wasn't hit as good. Oh, there it goes. And we just got it there. So first one was a little bit further. We got a par. Hopefully the stuff comes back. That's weird. Maybe I didn't ground the club enough the first time. Oh, come on. How do I? Talk about being a long round. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to look up on my phone. Sorry, this is a longer round to begin with, but I don't know how to, I don't want to just start mashing buttons to try to get it to come back. Maybe if I do the flyover, I know O and J, maybe if I do the flyover it'll come back. I'm gonna Google real quick, GSPro shortcuts. Oh, we're back. I was just gonna press H. I found that. So H should be hide UI. And I just pressed H and it didn't do anything. Oh, there it goes. Alright. I definitely, maybe I did it on accident. I don't think I pressed H. Alright, I guess we know that for the future. Alright, we're back. So, even through 10, 11th hole, par 4, 428. You just saw the flyover. I was on my phone, but we'll go about here. Get the driver back out. That was strange. Got some weird things going on today. Got a lot going on. Halfway decent score going too, which is nice. Low worm burner. Alright, it's gonna work though. That was hit. About as low in the face as you can hit it. It's gonna roll out though. That was a poor shot. I actually had one of those, if you guys saw the, it was on one of the vlogs. I think it was the one that I just put out, the front nine. I think I had one of those low worm burner shots off the tee. I went 241 on the rollout, 206 in the air. All right, 181. So downslope is going to come out a little bit left, and we're going to aim a little bit left. Should be a 7-iron, and because of that downslope, it's going to roll out a little bit. So just need to hit it enough with the 7-iron to get it to the front of the green. Decent strike, hung back on it just a little bit, so I may need to go a little bit, but that was hit pretty solid. All right, good shot there. 183 total, take that for par. My feel's a little bit off too. Obviously I can tell with how the ball comes off the club, but some of this, the turf interaction with this newer mat, a little bit of a guessing game in my feel. Hitting off that Country Club Elite mat for like 2 years, I kind of had a pretty good idea as soon as I made contact with it what was going to happen. These, making contact with the turf either before or after the ball, it's going to be a little bit of a experimentation going forward until I play a handful of rounds back here and really get used to this mat. But I mean, so far so good. It's hanging up. Don't have any issues with my elbows or wrists or shoulders or anything so far. Even through 11, 12th hole, par 4, 347, down 12 yards. Take a look at this flyover while I grab my driver. This may end up being like an hour and a half long video by the time we get to the 19th hole. I don't want to do a separate one just for one single hole, so I'm gonna have to go through the scorecard, like I said, end this round, and then pull up that one individual hole. Alright, so 267's there, and we got 12 yards of downslope. This could be, if I hit one at least up in the air, not like that last one, we could have a chance of getting within like a 60 degree if I hit it halfway decent, within a 60 degree into this green. Or pop it up. That was high toe. I'll chalk those up to figuring out exactly where I want to hit driver in my stance and have it lined up on that mat. Pretty poor swings, but Got 263 out of it somehow. Swung it at 107. 79 left. It's gonna come out a little bit left. That should be fine. We'll go about there. Down, we'll call it a yard, so 78. Let's try the 56. I want to try to keep that approach wedge in the bag for right around, a full approach wedge is about 125. So ideally I want to keep that in the bag for anywhere from like 90, 95 up to 125, and then start playing around more with this 56 and the 60. Before I was hitting that approach wedge, which is 51 degrees, anywhere from like 40 yards all the way up to 125, just trying to get too many different shots and yardages out of it. But let's see, right around 75 if I can do this here with the 56. A little bit chunky, may need to go a little bit. Wasn't a terrible strike. Wow, or not. Maybe that was actually a really good strike. I'm surprised that went that far. Again, I thought I hit a little bit before that, may have made contact with the turf after it, but that works for par. All right. Wow, look at this hole. Even through 12, 13th hole, par 5, 658 yards, and it's up 24 yards. So this is almost a 700-yard hole. You're gonna need a good drive here. This is pretty crazy. I'd be curious down in the comments, let me know if you guys have a full mat like this, if it's a cheaper one like this or a premium one, if you guys wear actual golf spikes or if you wear soft spikes or if you wear sneakers. Obviously I don't have metal spikes, I would never wear metal spikes, but even just the soft spikes like my regular golf shoes that I wear on course, I'm just thinking that from where I'm standing and twisting, it would just tear up the turf and beat up the mat a little bit more than these are sneakers. But these seem like a good middle ground, like I mentioned at the beginning, compared to spikes and sneakers. All right, up 25 yards. 25 yards is the total for the hole, but I need a good drive here. Pulled it a little bit left and it's gonna draw, or pulled it left and it's fading. That felt like a pulled draw. Wasn't hit terrible. Swung it at 106.5, 149.5 ball speed, 253 total because of that upslope. It was basically half of it off the tee, and now we got the other half, pretty much 15 yards of upslope going into this green. Not bad though. Would have liked to get a little more than 253 out of it, but leaves us with 402 up 15. So at least there's no water or anything. I need a really good three wood here, and then I'm gonna have to have probably a really good, pretty long to mid iron to get to this green. I mean, this is basically now a par 4 and kind of a longer par 4 after one shot. So this would almost be a shot where I would tee it up again to have 400 yards with 4 shots left to make par. This is gonna have to be a really good three wood. A little bit chunky, a little bit pulley. That's what I thought the drive was going to do. That started left and drew on top of it. But 143 ball speed, we got just shy of 250 out of it. Leaves us with, 168 up 6 yards. So let's see where the pin is. Not much to contend with the lie. Pin's in the back. So we're going to aim here. 168 up 6, that leaves us with 174 to the back, which is between a 7 and an 8. The 8 will at least get us on the green, I think, middle to front. So I'm going to hit that. I would have to take a little off of the 7, playing it more towards my 180, 185 number. I would have to take a little bit too much off the 7 to be able to get it to the pin. So we'll see here with the 8 iron. This is a better club selection. Well, I thinned it. I should get a little extra distance on it. stay there. Is that a par? Pretty horrendous strike with the 8-iron, but kind of a thin to win there. That kind of worked out. Tried to swing a little bit too much out of that just to get a few extra yards. Should have just tried to hit more of a stock 8. Still sticking it even though. Pretty happy about that. 14th hole, par 4, 412, up 5 yards. Take a look at this flyover. Problem is, I get almost a better feel because as you guys are watching the flyover, I'm kind of getting my clubs, sometimes getting a drink, teeing up my ball. You guys are actually getting a better look right now watching this than I am. Most of the time I'm missing these flyovers until I edit it. Looks pretty cool though, so if I'm missing, there's probably some cool, maybe there's been like animals that have run across or like cool things on the side of the course that I haven't picked up on, but let me know down in the comments and leave like a time mark if I miss something cool. It's gonna fade, kind of high toe, but again, swung it at 106.5, 149. I'm not squaring up driver great right now, but these miss hits are manageable to where I'm swinging it quick enough to get it kind of out there enough. And a lot of these down slopes are helping out. Hopefully the next round I play, I can kind of square up driver a bit better. I was hitting it really well last time I come out here. You guys will see those in the future for those PGA courses that I kind of recorded and have them scheduled out. Leaves us with 148 up 5. Gonna come out a little bit right, so we'll aim here. This should just be stock 9-iron. So far, I know you guys are probably seeing some shade in the sun. It's probably not the best look, but so far, no wear marks of where I'm standing and moving my feet. Obviously, you would hope that wouldn't happen after this is only my 3rd ever time using it, first real round, but no noticeable wear marks either with divots or where I'm hitting. So at least that's good. I do kind of want to put this mat through its paces within the first like 30 days of that Amazon return window, just in case I still have the availability to return it if something goes wrong. Bit thin, wasn't hit horrendous, but that may need to go just a little. All right, we're on. If I caught that a little bit better, that would have got there, but we'll take the par, 141 total. Not the best strike in the world with that 9, but still sticking it even. Onto the 15th hole we go, par 4, 446, up 24 yards. Outdoors mentioned the downgrades on the front 9. He didn't mention the 24 yards of upslope on some of these. There is a decent amount though, seemingly, of tee shots where you're either up on a mountain hitting way down or still kind of up on a mountain hitting way up. All right, let's see if I can again swing it around. I don't hate that 107 number considering I still think the R10's a bit low. Let's see if I can swing it around there and just square it up a little bit. Should put us into the 150s in ball speed. Again, I do really like this middle line, but it's kind of messing with me a little bit with driver. Obviously, I know the 9-iron pitching wedge and whatnot, lining up a bit more towards the back of my stance, my back foot. With driver, sometimes I mess around with it a little bit too on course if I'm popping things up or if I'm need to strain things out, move the ball position a little bit. Obviously, general rule of thumb is left heel for righties, but the line is messing with me just a little bit. That's gonna draw. Wasn't hit horrendous though. 148.2. All right, it'll catch the fairway. Again, still haven't hit one dead center out of the screws, so to speak, with that driver, but that forgiveness out of the Sim 2 is awesome. I'm not all over the face, but definitely not scoring it up perfect, and I'm still getting the ball out there manageably with some of these off-center strikes, which is nice. 246 total. Granted, we were hitting up into that, but 239 out of the raw carry, 234 from the game. So we got 212 up 13, so that brings us to 225. let's try the 4-iron. Generally, 6-irons around 200-ish, 5-irons about 210, 215, then 4-iron, if I can hit it decent, 220, 225-ish. Obviously that's no wind, perfect lie, good strike, everything like that compared to on course, but let's see what we can do here. Bit thin and heely, that's gonna fade and be short right. Is there trouble over there? That's the problem with the longer irons. Usually, most amateurs, myself included, a bit tougher to hit, especially that 4-iron. Probably could have hit the 5 and hit it even further with more consistency, but if I hit that actually better and actually hit it how I wanted it to, that would have been the right club. Alright, we got some work to do to save par here. Third shot into this par 4, 29, up about 3-4 yards, so we'll call it 32, 33 total. It's going to come out pretty far right, well, 4.2 for a wedge shot, so we'll aim there. And this one we have to get up and over the bunker, so I'm going to go 60, try to fly it higher, kind of flop it over this bunker, and try to land it in the neighborhood of 27, 28, 29, 30, somewhere in there. I don't hate it. Oh, how do I leave that short? Alright, gave one back, bogey. It was actually a pretty good swing, good contact. I think I just either popped it up, got a little bit too under it, too clean, or just needed to swing a bit harder at that to get that an extra couple yards there, but still got a decent score going. 1 over through 15, 16th hole, par 3, 217, down 25 yards. And left is no bueno. Luckily though, playing the fade, unless I really mishit one. So, I mean, I want to aim left, but I really can't. This is kind of a narrow green to hit, so what's the math on this? 17, that's 8 yards. So 192, I think, total with the slope, is that right? 17 yards brings us down to 200, and then 8 yards for the 25, which would be 192, I believe. Kind of in between. It's closer to a 6 than it is a 7, so that's what we're gonna do. And left is no bueno, like I said, so even if this fades a ton and I mishit it, that still should be fine over to the right, but let's see if I can kind of pull off this shot, which is not exactly the most inviting and easiest par 3 in the world. Thinned it, and it was heely. That's gonna be short right. And it's short right. Almost pin high though, but not the best swing in the world. What do we got left? See if we can chip this close. 19 yards. All right. Gonna be a 60 degree. We're on an upslope. It's gonna come out a little bit left, so we'll go there. And probably gonna fly this about 15, 16 or so. Normal, you never really know what you get out of normal. I haven't used GSPro to know enough that how much rollout that's gonna be. Usually I have a better idea if it's firm, you know it's going to roll out a ton. Normal, I guess, is a little bit more subjective versus firm or soft, but 15 or so yards of carry should get this done. May need to sit. Yep, that's going to be off the green. Man! Well, here goes the scorecard. What do we got left? 22 yards of upslope, 10 yards up a yard. Alright. So 11 total. Just gonna get this on the green. Probably looking for lower portion of the net over there. or thin it. That might go off the back of the green again. Did it stay? Double bogey. Yikes. Two fairly, the first one wasn't even that bad. I just put too much on it. That was a horrendous. That was kind of what I was experimenting with when I was hitting 60 degrees out here when I first got this mat. I was catching things thin because it's such a tight lie. That is not great. Brings us to 3 over, but I guess all in all, having it be a little bit tougher to chip and make good contact should improve my game in the long run, I would think. 17th hole we go. So we're 3 over through 16. That's kind of unfortunate. We gave 2 back there in one single hole. Par 4, 479. Down 10 yards. Take a look at this flyover. Still 3 over through 16 is not too bad, but I liked 1 over a lot better. And I liked when we were even better than that. But let's see here with this tee shot if we can get ourselves in a good position off the tee, get ourselves kind of back. There's bunkers though right in the landing area. This should be fun. Alright, we'll go here and hopefully it fades right in between those. Down 10 yards, so hopefully that should help to get up and over those a bit more. High toe, it's gonna fade. 149, 106. All right, that's gonna work out. Still overcorrecting. Too far left, too far right, too far left, too far right. Shutting the club face down too much, leaving it too open. Decent drive though, 274 total. Leaves us with 208 down 4, so 204 total. Where's the pin? Pin's in the front. All right, it's gonna be a 6-iron. Probably go 5 and play to the middle back, but is that a better move? 204. And I need to get all of it to get 204. Yeah, I think 5 irons honestly probably a better. Counts for a little bit of a miss hit, gives me some more wiggle room, and even if I flush this 5 iron, still should be either backside of the green or just off, I think. Hit it decent. Now sit. Alright, we carried it almost all the way there. Oh man, it's gonna just roll out. I mean, that was a pretty well struck 5 iron. It wasn't 100% squared up perfectly and pured, but I mean, I'll take that. Still rolling. I don't know, that's kind of a tough call in between clubs there with the pin towards the front. At least we got it there. Hopefully, now it's saying putter. I'm gonna change this to lob wedge just because I've experienced, that shouldn't matter, but I've experienced some wonky reads when we're just on the green, and I'm hitting a shot like this. So, what's 45 feet divided by 3? 15 yards total. So I gotta carry this like 12-ish. May need to go just a little bit, or that may have been close, but it looks like I didn't ground the club enough. We're gonna get a free mulligan out of it. That would have been fine. That might have actually been pretty good, but take 2. That was thinner and left. That's got to sit. Stay there. It's gonna be a bogey, I think. That sucks. The good breaks and the bad breaks end up evening out over the course of a round, but I think that first one would have been more of what I was looking for inside the inner circle. It's unfortunate we had to do it again, and then I go and do that, but just got to hit the wedges better, more consistently. So 4 over now through 17, 18th and final hole, I guess for this round's sake. We'll look at the scorecard, and then again we have the cool 19th hole, but par 5, 548, up 16 yards. We got water to go over. I mean, look at this flyover though. We got the mountains. Good request from Mr. Outdoors. maybe get a little Tiger Woods, Payne Stewart action in the thumbnail. And that's going to be pretty far right. Luckily though, pretty wide fairway. Driver's going down the tubes. That was, I mean, for how mishit that was very, very toe side. And the club face was wide open. To be able to get 254 out of that with the upslope and 148 ball speed that far out of the toe, gotta love the sim too. There's only so much it can help with, but all right, 293 up 10. So we got 303 left. It's just gonna be a 3-wood out to here. Probably gonna go through the scorecard pretty quick, just so, like I said, I'm gonna have to basically exit out, go back to the menu, and then load up that 19th, but I already have it downloaded, or at least it should have been, so should be kind of a quick transition over to that last extra hole. Low and left. It's fading back though. Kind of a low worm burner with the 3-wood. Get going. Alright, 64 left, up about 2 yards. Let's try the 56. That one I felt a little bit of a twinge, whatever you want to call it, in my left wrist. I don't know if that was technique, if that would have happened anyways, or if that had to do with the mat. But usually, I mean, it happened before too when I first got the Country Club Elite mat. I could feel sometimes with my elbows hitting down too much. Usually that's the first place that I recognize it in. You kind of get that tennis elbow type of feel, some soreness in the elbows, and I don't feel that. But that was a little weird. You would think it would be both left and right wrist, so that one just might have been a little bit of just the way I hit that. But 64, up a little more than 2 yards, so 65 total. We'll go there, and it's going to be a hit and hope with the 56. May need to sit just a little. Wow. Surprised that was short. Alright. Par, I think, to finish it. Let's go through the scorecard and then load up that final hole. So, from Payne's Valley in Hollister, Missouri, course designer Rudd Pun Run. Great job by him, and this comes the request courtesy of the subscriber Outdoors. Shout out to Outdoors for the good request and the taking the time to write out the response and the reason why you want me to play this. But really cool course. This is one of my favorite courses I think I've played so far. But ended up with a 4/76, so 36 on the front and 40 on the back. Those last couple holes weren't great, but I mean, we were even through 9, and then 4 over on the back, but not too bad. I know some of this may be getting cut off down here, but stroke play fairways were normal, greens were normal, stimps were 10, tees furthest back 73, global elevation, like I said, 2,000. I turned that down. We'll take a look at the stats. 11 pars, 2 birdies, 4 bogeys, 1 double, longest drive 284, average drive 264. I mean, that's pretty close. If you guys looked at my on-course video so far that was released, there's another one coming. I'm editing all those from Florida. I would say that's what I have my Garmin watch set to. I average about, with the good ones and the bad ones, right around 260, 265. So we're pretty close there with the average driving, at least for that round, even though I wasn't hitting it great. Average ball speed 148, best ball speed 150, 32 putts, over an hour, 56%, 10 out of 18 greens regulation, 86% somehow, some pretty wide fairways, but 12 out of 14. No handicap for this one for some reason. I don't know if GSPro glitched a little bit, but average handicap within GSPro is still all jacked up. So if you guys want, I appreciate you watching so far. I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this and load up that 19th and final hole. So if you guys are checking out of this video, if you made it this far, appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And for those of you guys that want to see the aforementioned 19th hole, let's go try to do that right now. So we're exiting that, we're going back into local match, and we're pulling up right here, Paynes Valley 19th, match settings. So this is what this course recommended settings, if you guys can see this down here. This is usually what I press for all the courses, and it didn't have that for the full 18. I'm going to click it here, so that brought the stimp up to 11. It turned on the wind, which I always turn off. We got the log 10. Hopefully the GSPro music isn't going to give me issues. What's the furthest tee we can play here? Looks like the black again. So that should be good. So it's a 124-yard hole, and let's load this up. I'm just going to grab a drink and double check the camera because this was such a long video. Looks like we're still rolling, but this should be another couple minutes, if that, just to hit one shot. Hopefully we stick the green. Can't say I've ever, out of all my simulator rounds back here and the courses I played in real life, can't say I've ever seen a course with a 19th hole. Pretty cool. Well, hopefully, I had it downloaded, so hopefully this loads up pretty quick. 124, I think I said. I guess I'll wait. It's either going to be a full approach wedge or a pitching wedge, but we'll have to see what the slope is. I guess while this is initializing, so far so good with the mat. Pretty happy with how score-wise was decent. Felt pretty good hitting off it. That one shot, I can still feel it a little bit on my left wrist. That was just that poorly hit 3-wood. That could have just happened no matter what, even if I was using the Country Club Elite. But definitely like no soreness in my elbows or shoulders or anything like that. So first round in the books seems pretty good. All right, the 19th hole. So this is the only hole. Par 3, 123 down 6. So it's not even going to be a full approach wedge, but let's do the flyover. This is pretty cool. So I don't know if like in real life, look at that bridge. Real life, I guess you would finish your 18. I don't know if you go right here, if you go into the clubhouse and then people are hanging out here. This looks like maybe the clubhouse, or it's getting cut off, but there's a shack looking thing over here on the left. All right, so 123 down 6. I guess I'm still just gonna go full approach wedge. If I hit it, we've got 117 total. If I hit it full, it's still on the green. So I think it's an approach wedge all the way, and it just depends on the quality of strike here. So 19th and final hole. This may be the longest simulator video I've ever done, but let's see if we can be a cool time to get a hole in one or put it close. Oh, kind of thin and heely. We'll see. All right, that worked out. So we got a par. All right, well, there you have it. So I guess I'll just leave that up there. There, you guys saw it was one and done shot, but you guys got the idea. Pretty cool little add-on though, and a pretty cool look there for the final hole. So to actually wrap this one up for real, this has been a long enough one, but appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think about the new setup, the new mat, down in the comments. Again, I'll pin, I'll probably do it for the first couple of videos just for anyone that maybe misses this one. They come across the future videos, they're wondering what this new mat is, but pretty good, pretty good padding. Don't feel any real issues. My left wrist already feels better after hitting that shot, so I think that was just a weird one-off type of shot with that 3-wood. But everything was pretty good. The wedges are a little bit hairy just because it's a tighter lie. Again, the Country Club Elite mat, I have tees over here. The Country Club Elite mat, the reason why I got that one in the first one is because that is basically the gold standards of mats. And before I switched over to using these rubber tees, you could put the actual tee in the mat. But if you guys see with this one, this barely it goes in and it stays up, but it's like it's I don't know, 16 millimeters, which is like, I don't know, you have to do the conversion into inches, but it stands the tee up, but it's not thick enough. The Country Club Elite is probably twice as thick. It's probably close to 30 millimeters of actual turf, which is dense, but this one is enough to where the tee stands up, but if you guys look, even just the weight of the ball, it's not going to support it. So I mean, that's kind of what you get and what you would expect when you're paying $67 versus $600, so literally 1/10 of the price for a 5x4 mat. But initial thoughts and reviews, so far so good with the mat. But I'm gonna wrap this one up, reset things here, and play one more subscriber requested course. So appreciate you guys watching. Check out the Amazon links in general down below. Great way to support the channel at no additional cost. If you guys do any of your Amazon purchases, just click one of those links first and then buy whatever you're gonna buy. Doesn't have to be anything here particular, anything for your house, clothing, shoes, any kind of golf stuff. Instead of Amazon keeping that small percentage, it goes to me. Just a way to, again, support the channel. It doesn't cost you guys a penny extra. But like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As I'm swallowing pollen, I can't even talk. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.